guys. This is another episode of the episode number 2, actually, of the Alternative Fitness Hour with Danny Manslaughter
Hey everybody, what's going on?
and myself, Waylon Martin, the owner of IronAffinity.com. And today we have a plethora of topics as usual that we're pulling out of our ass. And yeah, so Danny, what's going on right now with you?
Oh well, to all my fans out there, I know I have at least 4 or 5 for sure because they've sent me emails and possibly more than that. So, I mean, that Facebook fan page, man, it's really popping off. I just got to spend over $5 to get some more likes on there, so it'll make it look legit.
Yeah, you can be like Felicia
Was that
Rivera.
on Fiverr.com? Where you can
Shh, don't give away the secrets, man.
like, yeah, get as many as I can. So
Exactly.
it's like fuck that. But actually, these past couple weeks been pretty fucking hellacious. Just random shit happening. Everybody goes through, but it's fuck, just how it is, I guess sometimes. Then I came out with some bug or something. And it's my fucking fault. I'll tell you right now. And to all the kids out there listening, and everybody else, if you're training hard, you got all this fucking stress, and you're trying to do all these things. Take that multivitamin, and take that, immune support and like basic shit like that.
Wash your hands after you pee.
Yeah, wash your hands. I mean, okay, these things, but I'll be frank with you guys. I got pretty fucking lazy with taking my multivitamin, and I take for a few days and take an immune support and working out, twice a day, and then on a calorie restriction now because I'm trying to get ready for something, and boom, just like that, and then get really sick fast. So, but I mean, and the sad thing is, we always remember to take our anabolics and things like that. It's but sometimes, yeah, you got to make sure you get those micronutrients. So because without them, I guess you can't get huge if you're fucking sicker than a dog. So
And Z-Pack never hurts to have on hand as well.
yeah, well, yeah, it'd be nice if you have some of that. At one time, it was like I had broken out some acne when I was like about 15. I had like really, well, not really bad, but it'd be like the occasional, huge one on your forehead, and you're like, girls looking at you, and it's probably about ready to pop in their fucking face. And then, so I went to the doctor, and they gave me like a Bactrim, and it worked really well, it cleared me up. And then, but anyways, a couple of years later, I wanted to get more Bactrim, but I didn't want to go to the fucking doctor, so I found a website that had fish antibiotics. And I thought I had read somewhere that, oh yeah, it works for humans too.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, oh fuck. So like, all right, like, and like it was on some, it's probably like something stupid like a militia forum, or or survivalists trying to save shit, right? So
seems legit.
Yeah, so I got those fish antibiotics. Yeah, it's fucking fish on the front, and I remember I'm like, okay, cool, and I was taking them for a while, and then I just noticed my stomach was getting really fucked up, like making all these, weird noises, and rah, rah, and it's like fucking feel like I had the shit really bad, and I couldn't, like constipation, and then it's like, oh, it felt so horrible, and then I stopped, after a while, which is fucking sad, because I didn't make the connection right away, I thought.
How long were you doing them?
Oh, until it really started fucking up my stomach, it probably like a week or something like that.
Oh my god! Because normal like a Z, I mean, because it sounds like they were working.
Well, I was gonna take them like indefinitely for my skin.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so then I read later. Well, no, it's not really the same shit. It doesn't absorb like So.
Well, what's that other shit? The shit that like. Everyone gets prescribed it, but like you have to sign a contract if you're a female. It's like, I will not get pregnant as I take this, or like.
Oh, it's probably Accutane.
Yeah, that's it. That's
And,
exactly it.
and I think, well, I have no idea if this is true. It's pure hearsay because I haven't read this. I guess you could look it up like in 2 seconds, but I think they took it off the markets. I think it's
Whoa.
FDA did because that's how. And if FDA takes something off the market, you know, that shit's pretty fucking dangerous because I mean, tons of shit is left on there. It's absolutely horrible. You know, I mean,
Well, it depends who has a
but
better
like
lobbyist
so
too.
like Vioxx, how many people has Vioxx?
True.
You know, it's insane. It's in the thousands, and it's documented.
Well,
So
yeah, but then they have stuff like ephedrine, which is
yeah, it's not really bad at all. You know, I
yeah.
mean, it's of course given the right conditions, it could be very, very bad for someone. I mean,
It's
if
true.
you're,
I
you
guess
know,
the potential.
out of
Well,
shape,
but you
obese.
take enough Tylenol, you're gonna fucking be your last. But anyways, so I just got back from Venice Beach this weekend, or actually on Monday, not this weekend. We're recording so last weekend, which was pretty cool, and also why in part we didn't record. Um, yeah, that was the Venice Muscle Beach contest on Muscle Beach. It's a Joe Wheatley production. California Bodybuilding or CaliforniaBeachBodybuilding.com, I believe, is his website. And that's a really cool contest just because it's not an NPC event, it's not a sanctioned event, but it always has some really good bodybuilders usually, and the crowd's insane. I think this year I ran into well, I mean, Lee Labrada was the big guest, and I mean that was like whatever. He's cool. I mean, I like Lee Labrada, but like
Oh yeah.
he was a little bit before my time, and he's like a smaller guy, so I was never like, oh shit. But and that was hyped up for like weeks, weeks and weeks. And then like I'm like chilling with my girlfriend, and we're like sitting there, and I look and I see this like kind of stacked older dude, and like he's wearing a hat, and like he's just got this fucking like Luigi mustache. And I'm like, is that Samir Banu? And like I'm staring, and I'm like, come on, like that can't be. And like this dude's just like chilling, and then like I notice all these people like kind of like talking to him, like kind of like he's somebody. And then I finally hear someone like be like, Samir, some guy trying to be like friendly with him. And I realized I was like, holy shit, that's Samir Banu right there. So I went and got a picture with him. But that was pretty crazy. Like he's just chilling, casually chilling on Muscle Beach, hanging out.
The Lion of Lebanon. He's still pretty big too, isn't he?
He's actually, yeah, he's still for his age. After we were talking about all these people dying last week, I was actually really impressed with how Samir was leading, especially because I hear all these stories about all the recreational drugs he did back in the day. So he seems to be doing pretty well.
He had just awesome physique. There's that one picture where you can see his, the Christmas tree in back, and he's got his tricep out, or isn't there another one where he does like a side tricep?
There's a few great shots of him. There's
a
a reason he won the Olympia.
So freaky, the striations, and I mean, yeah, he beat Makawi, who, like I said, that's like my favorite.
Yeah.
And those two guys, I mean, as far as Labrada, I mean, another guy, awesome, amazing physique, but I mean, Samir Banu to me is a better physique though.
Ultimately, yeah.
But well, I don't know. I mean, they're both so great, and they have both had such a fantastic shape and structure. Just great bodybuilders.
Yeah, Samir was still like kind of large, and Lee's like a smaller guy. Like he's probably like the same height as like Sean Ray.
It seems like he stays very lean.
But what I was about to say is that his veins, like it was contest day for me. It was contest day for me, and I had like all right veins, like I was a little flat. Motherfucker's just chilling, and it's just a road map, like his arms. I was pretty impressed.
Speaking of that, of like seeing these guys, different bodybuilders or older ones, I was talking to Mark, who owns Strength and Health Gym here. And he was telling me, well, he's from Stockton. That's where you're probably, Waylon, you might not be familiar with this name because this is way back. You might though. You ever heard of Chuck Sipes?
Off the top of my head, no.
So he was, he was in the like the 1960s. He was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I'm googling him right now. It looks
Yeah,
crazy.
he's insanely strong, just like fucking brutally strong. He was kind of no fat too. And if you look for his time period, like that motherfucker was so stacked. I mean, Chuck Sipes was a beast. But anyways, Mark was saying that he would always walk around just fucking lean and vascular and hard, and he would do yeah, I think he put up a, over 500-pound bench press without a shirt or anything else like that. I mean, that fucker was strong. If you look at some of those pictures of him, I mean, it's just like a really awesome, unique physique. Like you won't, that physique won't be replicated, and that's what's kind of cool about that era, 60s and 70s, and well, it's just like some of those really older ones is like you just don't, oh no, you just don't see those type of physiques anymore. Or like like Boyer Coe or someone like that. I mean, that's really like classic physique right there. But Chuck Sipes, so strong. I try to let me see if I'll look really quick on some of his strength feats because this that fucker was insane, and that's pretty cool. Like a lot of these guys were all around just strong dudes, and not just bodybuilding. Not just to look pretty, like I do. So
Well,
that's all. That's all I'm concerned about is looking pretty. No, I want to be strong too, of course. Okay, see now here, I just found something.
shoot me the link to it, and I can play it on here.
Yeah, he's widely regarded as one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time. Which, yeah, it's true. I agree with that. Here, I think I just sent the link to you, didn't I? Wait,
Let me
do
see which one. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, just look at that picture of him. You see that picture?
Let me see real quick.
I mean, that's fucking pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean the guy is a freak.
In 1959, he won the Mr. America.
So he's that. Wow.
So that was, that picture was probably taken just around that time period too. Okay, here he used to bench press, which was about 3 times his peak body weight of 220 pounds. That's people don't realize how strong that is. And if you look, that's like dense, thick muscle that guy had. You know, but yeah, he took his life quite a few years back, I guess. And yeah, pretty sad story. But he was, I guess he was just really loved too in that community. He was, like a youth counselor, and everybody really loved him. But yeah, Mark was saying that his brother, like Mark's brother, they had like a class together or something, university. And they thought it was so cool. It's like, oh yeah, Chuck was there today, and and because back then, he's really a well-known bodybuilder, and just so. But yeah, I mean, some of those guys, like I said, were so freaky back then, and it's really cool to know some of the history of bodybuilding, or read about some of these guys, and that's how strong they were. And think about this too, Waylon. Okay, it's like bodybuilding is like a fringe thing right now, right? And Mark brought this up. Imagine back then.
Oh, geez.
It must have been so fucking out there, and to even discover it, it would have to, it's like a miracle, really.
Well,
So,
I mean,
like that time period, I mean,
weight training like that type of weight training wasn't even popular. Like gyms weren't even,
no. So it's like, yeah, to get into it at that time period would have been a real like miracle, and then develop that type of physique.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
You think we have all this great knowledge now and all this stuff, but I mean, yeah, I guess things might have. Yeah, of course we've.
Some HGH and synthol wouldn't hurt him, but
yeah, yeah, I know. See, his physique was probably just D-ball. I bet you anything.
I bet you there wasn't a lot of anything.
Looks like D-ball. I mean, fuck, it's all you need, because they probably had the good ass shit too back then.
Yeah,
they little was, yeah, man. It's like
testosterone isolated from guinea pig testicles and
Sergio Oliva. So those guys loved that fucking D-ball.
Yeah.
That shit was probably so good back then. I can't imagine.
Well, yeah, that's what the guys in the NFL and stuff were taking back then too. All those sports. We just don't talk about it.
Yeah, no, I've actually. That's so weird because this guy came in my buddy's supplement store one day, and he was actually like fucking asking about pro hormones or something for his kid that was going to play college ball. And
Division 2.
yeah, he's like, well, what can I? And it's like, well, and he was like with and stuff. He's like, well, back in my day, he's like, I played pro ball, and I can't remember this guy's name, but I'm sure he wasn't bullshitting. You know, he was fucking big dude too. Still, like, he was a big man. He was probably 6'5", and he's very wide, and he still had looked like quite a bit of muscle. And he was saying, yeah, back in my day, he's like, we used to, you know, he's like, I played pro ball. He's like, and we'd go, you know, down the border and we'd stock up on Anadrol and you know, Diana ball and all this. And I can't remember when he said this was like the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
But so I'm sure, like, yeah, I mean, yes, because some of those fuckers are huge. Actually, some of those guys right now look insane. Like,
All of them. Everyone in every sport takes drugs. Just in bodybuilding, you
well,
take
yeah,
such
no,
an
I'm
excessive
saying it's
amount.
like some of those guys in the NFL right now. There's some jacked up motherfuckers. Like,
You can't tell me LeBron James doesn't have one of the most expensive supplement and legitimate supplements too, you know, but like one of the most like they don't test for growth hormone in the NBA. You know, like that can't.
is there? Well, so there is a good test now for it.
No, there is. Here's the problem with growth hormone. The problem with growth hormone, well, like it's like the one way they do it is I've heard, and this is just I'm going off of things I've heard over the years and throwing them all together, but like it's like to test it you would have to cut someone's fucking bones and look, and it's like a tree ring, you know, like it's not an easy test for that. And then to really test for growth hormone, like it's very short acting, so within a few
Oh, yeah.
hours it's out of your system. And it's one of those things where, unlike testosterone, it's not going to alter your natural production, so you can't be like, oh, he's has low levels, or you know. And so realistically, for them to catch you, they have to get you like that afternoon, you know, they have to get you within a certain, and it's just,
The needle in hand.
yeah, exactly. And so if you look at someone like A-Rod cycle, I thought might have been fake. You know, you just assume everything's fake when you see someone famous cycle.
Oh,
You assume it's fake. But the A-Rod shit, I'm looking at it and I was like, actually, for like a baseball player, like that makes perfect sense. Like everything's
well,
like,
like Promoblin and
it was low dosage. It was very low dosage, and then it had a lot of it was
oh,
athletes, like, okay, with like horses. This is weird, but a lot of horse compounds and like racing
oh,
principles you can transfer over to bodybuilding, and it's because it's athletics.
yeah.
You know, MMA, same shit. All those guys are on steroids now. They're on the UFC allows TRT, which literally means you can take
No, I think
anything.
there's a big issue with that recently, and it's like they're not going to allow it now.
Well, that's it. Is
Dana,
they go back and forth on the issue, and Dana White's the, you know, he loves cashing the
I don't even
checks
want
from
to
the
talk. Some
results. So
MMA guy's going to email and give us the lowdown. So I'm pretty ignorant on their policy right now, but
yeah,
I do know
that's true.
that. But besides that, you can always find something, and that's why, actually, if you are like a MMA athlete or um, any type, I mean, shit, I would recommend talking to a bodybuilder because we know different things about, you know, a lot of us. Well, okay, find the right educated, find someone that knows what they're talking about, because so many people don't.
Yeah,
And you know, that person is going to help you, you know, design a cycle where you don't get busted and you're not like a dummy taking nandrolone and fucking then, you know, taking deck and then later standing in
yeah,
court
exactly.
despite your supplement like Sean Shirk. You know, okay, you take fucking short acting shit. It's not that rocket science. Like, this is what I would put someone on. You know, I would say, you know, test suspension. Yeah, it's pain literally, but half life in that is so fucking short. It's like there's just no way. And then you just cut it out right before the fight, and you're good to go. That'd be one thing you can use. Then you have this wide variety of, you know, whatever peptides you want to use. There's no fucking in using different combinations.
Well,
Maybe
think
gonna,
about it. I mean, they
you
don't
know,
test for age. I know. Okay, like
oh
you
yeah,
look, you
that's the
know,
number one thing they take is growth. I know
yeah.
that fighter stuff, but I would take, you know, I should test suspension for sure, and I would take, you know, maybe something like that MENT, because I don't think that's a thing they test for. Just look for whatever, and I'm sure whatever they
There's
test.
off list shit. There's off list shit. I'm
Oh,
sure. You know.
and there's just so much shit out there now too, and they're designing new rat poison pro hormones every day, so you can find some of that shit. So, I mean, you're always going to be ahead of the game. They can never bust fucking drugs, which is obviously why the argument is there. Fuck it, let them, let's do what I want. Let's get it out there. I mean, you expect these superhuman results, um, but bodies wear down.
It's already happened. Like that's the funny thing is people are like, well, what's gonna happen if all these guys are taking drugs? They already are.
Yeah.
You're seeing it. You know.
Yeah, it's diluted. But yeah, they want to point the fingers at us because we look so different. That's the only thing. And I guess the difference is actually bodybuilders probably take the largest
Dosage.
assortment of drugs.
Well, I think bodybuilders
will probably take a few different, but
bodybuilders
take like such a huge variety of like shit. I mean, come on, in all honesty, or not all of us, but some of us, as far as you're taking them. Say if you're really, this is someone that's just really all about it. They're pro or whatever, and they're taking insulin, growth, peptides, anabolics, androgens, all sorts of shit. Just fucking. That's a lot of different shit. And then you're taking, that's not including, okay, now I can't sleep, so I got to take some fucking type of sleeping pill. Oh, I'm getting prolactin, so I better get some Caber. So all the ancillary shit.
You know what, though? I think that applies to regular athletes as well. I think bodybuilders, we just push everything to extreme, but all of that stuff applies.
But do you honestly think any other sport, though, uses...
Yeah, I think, look, Brian Cushing got caught with HCG.
But uses as much
drugs. No. Like you said, there's a difference. Like there's definitely a difference.
Okay.
No, because it's athletic performance. Like we were having this athletic performance talk. Is that like the levels? What you're trying to do in bodybuilding is you're just trying to always be in the anabolic positive state. Yeah. And if there's negative feedback from that, you just take more shit to prevent that negative feedback. Even versus like that A-Rod cycle, like I was saying. He was on shit. He was on anabolics, but it wasn't any dosages that were crazy. It was just optimization of an, because he doesn't need to be 300 pounds in his off,
No, exactly.
But it's just easy to point. It's easy to point fingers, and bodybuilding is such poor representation. That
exactly. It's funny because now, I'm back in just back in school now. Back in college. In addition to doing everything fucking else, and it's so funny. Being around some of these like young kids, they're up there, especially it's like, oh man, it's just so fucking annoying. But, it's just like walking around, just as bodybuilders, okay, my friend coined a good term, okay? He said, bodybuilders, most of us suffer from something called look at me, don't look at me syndrome. He's absolutely correct. Because for some reason, over the years, I've built my body up and to look a certain way. So obviously, I do, at some level, enjoy the attention of it. Whether it's, displaying on a stage or in compliments, obviously it makes you feel good when, someone says, hey, man, you look good, or whoa, stuff like that. Of course. But at the same time, sometimes you just feel like, fuck, just don't look at me. Like when, say like some people start making comments like, oh, he's on so much shit or blah, blah, or too many people are just fucking staring at you at once and you feel all weird. And, but anyways, I was like walking by and there's a group of probably freshman girls, and I got good fucking ears so I can hear shit, and it's like just the typical bullshit. Oh, that's so gross. Like he's like so fucking huge, or like that he's probably he takes like a bunch of steroids. That's like the first thing comes out of your mouth. And so first of all, it's like, you know what? These people are fucking rude and have zero life skills. Because you know what? You don't just fucking talk so loud about someone walking by. That'd be like someone like with cerebral palsy, in a fucking wheelchair or something. Like, oh, why does that motherfucker look so weird? How weird does that guy look? Obviously, completely different conditions. But,
which people do, too.
Yeah, exactly, because people are fucked up. But it'd be me, like, saying something to them. Or, like, saying, I could be talking to someone, oh, look at that Look, oh, that's so gross. Look at that bitch's fucking nose. She looks like a hawk, you
Well, I
know.
mean, think about it. Like, it's funny the standards of beauty, just because, like, in this industry, you get jaded. Because, like, I literally see some of the most fit and attractive women every day, if it's not on internet in person. And so, what happens is, I was in school too, and you'd see all these sorority girls that like think they're hot, and they are attractive, like they're cute girls, but like they all have like they don't lift, like they have zero muscle tone, like off the bat, and like you just know. So she might be like a 10 face, which is awesome, but she might like just be like blah. And then the thing that always gets me is when they have Lord kyphosis, when they have like that arch, they
It's
have
like
that arch, and they're just
Hunchback.
yeah, just like
That's
that
like,
inward rotation from like just life, like because no one you do some pull-ups, change your life, but
yeah, no, well, and then a lot of those girls too. Their personalities are so fucking wretched. I
yeah,
mean, to
yeah,
even get in, it's like that's a big thing, really, man. I'll tell you why. And because personality is important. There's one time I met, I'll tell you this girl, right? And she wasn't, she was really cute actually. And I think, I can't remember her name was, I think it was like Becca or something like that. But anyway, she invited me over to her, her little apartment. This was like my first year, I think, after, well, fuck, when was that? No, I guess this was probably uh, probably I was 21, something like that. Just, yeah, 21. I went over to her place and we started talking a little bit. The first thing I noticed is she had all these cat fancy digest magazines. And it's like, okay, I never met really anybody that passionate about like cats as far as subscribing to that actual make. But that was a little weird, and of course she had a few. Um, I'm sure not as much as she wanted. And then we started talking, and she's like, oh, "Okay, I'm gonna get fucked up now," and she starts drinking E&J, and I was like, "Well, I don't really feel like drinking tonight." She's like, "Come on," and it's like, "Yeah, nah, I'm good," and I think I ended up drinking some E&J anyways. And we started talking, and this is a fucking real killer right here. She's like, yeah, people talk shit about George Bush, but it's like, you know what? He like kicked the terrorist asses and he like got shit done. So people can fuck off. And after her like brilliant political analysis, I was so fucking turned off that I had to fucking leave. I don't care if she's the finest fucking, you know, chick in the world. It was so repulsive how ignorant and stupid she was. It was just fucking disgusting. So I left, and it was a dangerous drive back too. Roads were slick and
a
icy.
few
I get,
ENJs in your system.
oh fuck yeah, broke the law. Fucking not good. Should never do that. Horrible. I realize that now. But it was because so fucking ignorant and stupid. Like her comments. I mean, there's more to it too. It just, oh god, when people, it's like they make these political comments, and then they expect you to agree with them, which is fucking hilarious. And then they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. It's classic, man. It's like at any job or any place, you always get shit like that. But anyways, my whole point was, some of those sorority girls, like maybe they're hot, but their personalities are so shitty. It's like, fuck, who would want to spend a moment with someone like that?
They,
They got daddy daughter issues. They've been fucking spoiled. They might, who
well,
knows?
pause. I'll say there's like a good 10% of those chicks that are those young women that like are dope, like are they like uppity white chicks? Yes, they are.
Sure. You know what?
But
I shouldn't just lump and stereotype all females in sororities. Say they all have this type of. No, of course not. I don't believe that.
and it's probably more than 10%. I would say 20% has like genuinely like philanthropy and like shit like
I mean,
that.
because believe me, and I believe me. I mean, I would say the same thing about the frat boys and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like the equivalent,
But
right?
that said, there's such a large percentage of shitheads that I feel more than comfortable saying that in general they're kind of shitty.
Oh
So
yeah, exactly, for sure.
yeah. So of course with every group there's a range, But yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
that's
just fucking young douchebags and trained to be the
well,
future.
it's kind of like it's just interesting because like the two people that get fake tanners because I'm having learned all this shit with my tanning is it's the same age group. It's like 18-year-old strippers and 18-year-old sorority girls.
Yeah,
And like you think they're completely different walks of life, but in some ways it's like the same shit. Or like sometimes what's the difference sometimes between the guy that joins the army because he doesn't know what the fuck to do coming out of high school, and the kid that goes to the university, majors in bullshit, and joins a frat because he doesn't know what the fuck he's supposed, It's like it's not that big of a difference. But it
yeah.
is all at once.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, chicks. It's nice if they have a little muscle tone on them. Like you're saying you didn't like sorority chicks because have the hunchback and shit like that. And,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
think it's attractive. A girl does have a little, or just she takes care of
An
herself.
an
That's
athlete is real. I respect athletes a lot, just in general.
it's really important too. I'm saying take care of themselves when here I'm fucking sick because I need to take my fucking vitamins.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
you know what I'm saying? It's like
I mean, we're hypocritical pieces of shit, but that's okay. That's been
we're all.
established.
I'm a hypocrite. What can I say?
Yeah,
On many counts, really. Fuck.
yeah.
Whatever. Shit. Most people. So, um, but that competition, that's good, man. You looked really good. When I saw his pictures, like fuck, couldn't even, you know, real. It looks like you just blew up. It's photos.
I needed it. I wish I had HD photos from the morning because I had a bounce before the night show. I had a bounce before the routine, so I don't have any. That's when most of it seems like all the photos were taken. So all my shit is on like my girlfriend's iPhone, zoomed in, digitized. It's all really low grade stuff. But yeah, I mean it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Yeah, I mean I don't think prep should be fun necessarily, but like it was a fun prep. It's a fun contest. The dude who beat me, or I'm assuming who beat me, the guy who won the class ultimately, he was like a Rich Piana athlete and like some model, some shit like that. They're all models in Los Angeles, but
Rich Piana athlete. So
yeah,
he.
he's a 5%er.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah. But
Something about that. I'm just not really familiar with it.
yeah, no, Rich Piana
So
was there.
coaching people, and is that what that is? Or?
Well, he works with Ben. I know him and Ben. They have a deal where he hooks Ben up and he gives him some like it's the clothing line. But I think this other guy, it's a smaller deal. Like he gives him free supplements or something like that. But yeah, I mean, going into the contest, what was crazy was I didn't want to weigh myself, because I knew my goal was basically get down light heavyweights, so like 198, and I figured and I was about like 225. 220 maybe when I started dieting 4 weeks out. A few weeks later, I tried not to weigh myself. I was just going off the mirror, dieting. And I was getting leaner every day, because if I wasn't and you're only dieting 4 weeks, you're fucked if you're not getting leaner every day. So I was making daily progress. And I went to I went to the hospital. I went to the doctor and got like standard shit done. I think I was getting like a checkup. And I accidentally saw my weight at I believe it was 2 weeks out, and it was 215. So I was like, okay, like fuck, 215.
How much weight did you lose?
So hold on. So I started like 220, 225, right? 2 weeks I got down to 215. So I was like, okay, like that's cool. Like that's not bad. But I should be maybe I'll be like 200 and I'll suck it down, pull water, I'll be like 190. I'll be like heavyweight. So then I dieted another week, kept getting leaner that week. And the thing is, my off seasons have really in the last year have just been shit. My off seasons have just my training's good, my supplementation's pretty decent. I don't push anything that much, but like my diet, I'm one step above vegetarian. Like I don't eat eggs. Like I have fast food and protein shakes. Like that's basically my protein intake.
Well,
So
it's a lot different from vegetarian.
well, yeah, I was joking a little bit when I said that, but so what happens is I'm eating all these really like not clean foods, like traditional bodybuilding foods finally. And like my supplementation's on point. Like I'm not being lazy with it. I'm making sure to hit everything when I need to. and small shit too, like peptides. You know, just more frequent, like that little small frequent shit.
Yeah, I've
Um,
been taking those too. We'll talk about
researching
it in a moment, but I
researching on
just
a kangaroo, but yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. And
we'll talk
so
about the peptides in a moment because I wanted to.
okay, yeah, bring it up in just a second. But so then basically, like I think it was like 3 or 4 days out. Me and my girl, I'm like bloated. I'm getting this weird progesterone bloat. So like, start was fucking with my head because I was getting leaner. I knew I was losing fat, but then I had this weird water, and
Uh,
I hopped on the scale. I was 225 pounds, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
that's bizarre.
Yeah, I added so much weight during my prep, and so then,
But you were in a calorie deficit.
yeah, I
Did you introduce anything?
oh fuck yeah, I introduced I
Okay.
introduced the
Yeah.
fuck ton. Oh yeah.
So, what did
That
you? Yeah.
well, that's what happened was well, the first week I dieted, I just had testosterone, or my in theory, I just had testosterone. Like I went from like my long ester off season stuff into contest shit. Or not even contest shit, just in the short ester stuff. Because I was thinking I was going to maybe do the contest that was this weekend, so it would have been 5 weeks instead of 4 weeks. And so I was like, okay, then I have like a solid month to do these things, and then finally I got my shit, and I had some more time to think about it, and that's why I got the progesterone reaction. So I'll come back to that. But so I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll just do this Venice show because I really like Venice. The Venice shows are dope. I just like it a lot, and so because I went there last year, and so I switched up all my shit, and literally, like I was saying about my ankles swelling up, my my ankles, like I have some big calves, like I have some big fucking calves, and my ankles are pretty small, so it's like a pretty good ratio. It looked like a block, like it just like was swollen, and then you'd like touch it, and like it was like bleh, like a sponge, right?
Oh.
Yeah, it's fucking nasty. So then I'm googling this shit, edema. So I'm
Uh,
googling this shit, and like basically the causes are like like basically it could be progesterone, like which is what I thought it was. I figured that's what it was.
Could be kidney
Or
failure.
boom, or it's
That's
like
what's scary about
kidney, liver. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like
But
legitimately, it's the first time in my life that I'm thinking like I'm probably not going to, but I could die right now. Like
start
I've
freaking
never had that legitimate.
visions of dialysis start appearing.
Yeah, boom. I'm thinking. Yeah, it's all going through my head, and so what happened was I wasn't able to get the caber in time. I got the wrong shit, which is fine because I got other shit I needed anyways. But what I did was it was all short ester. So basically everything I was taking, everything, all the side effect edema. Like so, it wasn't even
Oh
one
yeah.
thing. It
Oh,
was just everything was like would cause edema, and so
I
I
hear.
so I looked at my pictures from that first week when I was dieting on just the testosterone, and my ankles were fine. So I was like, ah, fuck. So about like 5 days out, I cut everything except for the testosterone and Adex to keep estrogen out of the system, so I didn't get any estrogen bloat. And boom, cleared up real quick, real quick. Took I took one Lasix. I spread it out too over 2 days.
And so, what was the whatever compounds, in theory, would you have used at that time?
It was like a few days of a few days of masterone and theoretically test short ester test, and then I knew as soon as I decided to do that contest, which is a few days into those new compounds, I switched it. I just added Tren right then, and
Okay.
added and Winnie too. Winnie, which is weird
That's a
because
good one.
well, oral Winnie, and what was weird about that was that I think I have some gyno sensitivity to that, which I can't quite figure out because like it should I don't know, but I've also heard of some other.
Well, it can. I mean, they say it can't, but I believe it can. I mean,
I've had
and
multiple people say shit that so that's kind of why I'm thinking, but
plus, could especially do it, especially if it's not real Winnie and it's in the cap and something fucking else. And
yeah, exactly. Who knows? This isn't
but the good thing about Mastron is Mastron will a lot of times shrink or help shrink gyno. And I believe doctors have prescribed it just for that reason on many occasions. I've read that many times. I mean, it's another female, breast cancer research or female breast cancer drug, I believe. So,
yeah. And
That's
the trend was definitely I think was one of the main ones that set it off, because what happened was the last few nights, as soon as
progesterone part.
exactly, as soon as I switched off of it, the last few nights, because I kind of figured out, 5 days out, and every night I would get night sweats, and just, which I hadn't had in months. I haven't had night sweats in months, and like I just sweat and sweat and sweat, and in the morning I'd wake up and my ankles would be like 50 to 75%. Every day it'd be a little bit better when I'd wake up in the morning. Then throughout the day, because I didn't change up my diet and I drink water and all that shit.
Probably losing about 8 pounds during the night. I bet.
Boom, exactly. And so that was exactly it. So it was scary, because like you're doing a prep, and it's such a mind fuck, because for those first 2 weeks, insane like progress. Like I could see it, photo to photo, I could see the changes. And then those last 2 weeks, it's just so weird, just because like you're like like I'm like bloating up. It's a mind fuck. It's just a mind fuck. And like I figured I knew what it was, and fortunately I was right, and basically was able to nip it in the bud like in time. But it's scary, especially being like, oh yeah, renal failure is a possible cause of all this shit. So, you know.
Yeah. That progesterone's a motherfucker. So now you're taking peptides.
Yeah, now I'm just I'm having a nice little rebound with all the leftover shit from my
But you were
contest.
taking them before.
Oh, before the contest, I was thinking, or I mean, theoretically,
Mhm.
legit growth kits in the past, like legit, and then this one, it was just generics. And here's what I'll say about the generics, and maybe it was the combination of peptides. Generics messed me up, like made me like feel like high, but not the benefits of high, just like like the like lazy tiredness of being high, like. So like, and especially when I think it was largely due with the diet too. Is I would only have carbs before my workout. So meal one of the day, I would take, sometimes I would take it right then when I woke up. And if I didn't take eventually I started just taking like my caffeine and shit
Stimulants.
pre-workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like Adderall prescription does not hurt during a contest prep,
Yep.
but and then you get a bunch of shit done. Um, but
Even has anything to do with generic. I think they're just growth in general, and
well,
can be tired of.
here's the thing though, with really high quality growth, I took it. I saw amazing results. I mean, I hate to advertise it like that, but it's pretty fucking awesome. Um, and I had no side, like no, I mean, I had sides like joint issues and stuff like that, but I didn't have that type of side. Versus with this, with the generics, and I've had a lot of people tell me about the generics, that they'll take it, and within about 20 minutes, it's just like bam, just a train. And that's kind of what happens. So if you're if you're trying to sleep, it's dope, because think about it. You closer you get to contest prep, you're just like, ah, fuck. But like it helps then. But yeah, the peptides, I think, were actually oddly. I like peptides. You just have to get, I think, the right ones, and you have to.
Well, yeah, I've been screwing around the past couple of weeks with them, and in theory, have been taking that, you know, GHRP 6 and CJC 1295, whatever the fuck number.
Is that the
Uh,
one with, or the short
I'm
one?
taking it with the
Oh, gotcha,
DAC.
gotcha.
I'm taking that every 4 days. I'm taking, yeah, in theory, every 4 days, taking 500 micrograms of that, and then the GHRP. In theory, well, I guess it doesn't matter since they're like legal things. So, um,
You're researching.
200, yeah, micrograms research like 3 times a day, and
Yeah, that's pretty good.
it's like, yeah, fucking. I know what you're saying. Like the lethargy is fucking horrible because
I think that might be the
realizing like that,
GHRP.
I'm
Because
like, man, I need to, lay down and
mm-hmm.
take a nap. And I took a nap, and it's like 2 fucking hours. And it's just like, oh, I felt like I could sleep more. It's like feels like all you want to do, and I mean, yeah, you got to take like uppers just to get through the fucking day. So, or just to function. Yeah, plus the diet. I mean, yeah, I'm doing actually right now. I'm doing a fucking crazy diet. I'm not gonna lie. So that's probably partially why I got sick too. I'm taking
All
sort of
that shit at
a
once.
Menser approach.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of stimulants going on, and yeah, I fucking have to. Otherwise, I think I'd be sleeping all day. seriously, because that shit makes you fucking tired. I was feeling tired anyways for that because the calories are so low, but that shit is making me and that hunger too is horrible. That it gives you at least that GSRP6. I mean, like fucking severe hunger pains. I feel like if I don't eat anything within 15 minutes, I'm just gonna fucking.
That's what I'll say about GHRP6 is that like I really held off on peptides. I always just kind of thought they were bullshit. I always do everything like incrementally, so I see what the new shit does, you know. And GHRP6 I thought was bullshit until I had it, and I was like, oh wait, I'm legitimately. It's kind of like melatonin. Like melatonin, you take it, and you're not like drug tired. Like you're not like whoa, I'm fucking tired, but you are like oh, I'm kind of sleepy, you know. And with GHRP6, it's one of those things where you take it, and then like 20 minutes, you're like, man, I'm pretty hungry, you know. Boom. And so, I mean, if you have issues dieting, I do like GHRP6. But yeah, the contest diet, no thank you. GHRP2. And GHRP2 is shown to be a little bit more efficient, just like per
What
unit.
ipamorelin? Is that how you pronounce that?
Man, there's so many fucking
So much
peptides.
different
Like,
shit. It's like
there's.
bodybuilders. We're like the fucking guinea pigs of.
And
That's
I
what's
and I
sad.
really only think so much of it works, you know, and that's why.
Who even knows what the fuck this shit is? I mean,
Exactly. Well,
it's
there's been
fun.
studies about certain ones like possibly causing cancer and stuff like that. Like you don't know.
We're going beyond the realm of you know what people, doctors, and
Well,
medical science. We're creating it really.
the irony of all this is that you're not allowed to do scientific testing on this type of shit because it would be inhumane to do the research. So instead, thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of millions of people are taking this shit
Yeah,
and they
we are.
have and
We
they're
are.
doing it anyways, you know? It's just
We are the test
we
subjects.
are the test, unfortunately so.
I
And
never got that way.
yeah, and it's kind of scary. It's kind of, especially with the peptides, it'll just be interesting because I really feel like those didn't catch like site enhancement oil. Like people like to act like it's a new thing, but it's been around since at least the early '90s, if not possibly the '80s, depending on who you talk to. You know, all this shit, growth hormone, even though it didn't get popular until the '90s, it's been around since the early '80s. You know, with the peptides though, they're finding shit. Every day. Same thing with pro hormones too, but pro hormones, I feel like it is what it is. Versus peptides, there's such a range of weird shit, and you don't
Oh,
know what's dog shit, which I think is like half of it, and what is actually really effective, which I think is like 20%, and then what's kind of in between.
and it depends where you're getting.
Oh, and exactly, there's so many different sources, and
Then these places will say like 99.3% purity. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I mean, like,
yeah.
okay, how can you even like every bottle is apparently, So,
Well, the price, the
oh,
the
here's
money you can make on this shit is pretty crazy. I've
here's
actually considered selling it before, but like it's really kind of sketchy too. Like you have to host the website here, guys. If you want to start a peptide site, you have to host the website overseas, so that way, if the U.S. government tries to shut it down, you can't be like you're like no, we're not based out of the U.S. It's very weird, and so like you have to create like a new LLC and shit potentially if you don't want your shit. And like I've heard of legit companies like getting letters, being from agents from federal
oh
agencies.
yeah, I've seen that too, but I mean, it's probably so low on the radar they don't even, you know, I'm sure they don't even care about that shit really. But
I don't know about the peptides, man. The peptides with the pro hormones and peptides. The people I know in those businesses all were trying to get out, and they haven't gotten busted, but they thought they were, and they've all kind of moved on to other projects, but they're making so much money with that shit that they can't stop.
uh,
Like it's like yeah, you're running a high risk, and you know what? They could shut it down. Like the system is designed to shut it down at any moment. But
well,
like,
yeah, I guess if you're just prepared for that to happen,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I
Well, I
think
mean, it's
you
different
start
because
putting that money in places and get a couple really good
I,
friends that like, hey, can I kind of have you hang on to some money for a while, and then you can kind of keep
diversify
this
those
out. So
bonds.
it's very fucking hard to find someone solid like that. Though that's got to be a motherfucker you can really trust. So,
Probably
but
not a female either.
well, just depends.
It
But
depends. It
have
depends.
those people in your life, real friends, and
Yeah.
That's how you do that, man.
Yeah.
So you have something for when you get busted, whatever happens, and they try to take all that shit.
Come
So
a knocking. Come a knocking. Well, I mean, that's it. Is that like I mean, well, think about it. All these companies started. A lot of companies started off as like in vans in Texas, and they started off as like selling like the old formula pro hormones back in the day. They made just enough money to invest in other shit. You know, it's kind of. I mean, I'm doing similar stuff. I mean, I sell the site enhancement oil on my stuff, and then I use the small profits I make from that to diversify into other shit like tanners and stuff like that. But my tan's launching soon. By the way, I can't say the name yet because I'm waiting for a trademark to go through.
uh,
But,
yeah, well, it looked good. I mean, you're right. That's a crucial part of it, man. So many people that first go around too, they forget how important that tan is.
it's a pretty fucking big deal when you really think about it. Like,
Especially if you're a honky, you need to make sure you're
oh,
brown because
oh my gosh,
you get
yeah.
washed out.
Well, you look. I mean, look at me out there. Those two guys I competed with, I guarantee, had no tanning color whatsoever. You know, and they
If
were
you're
still
black,
dark.
putting it on,
Well,
So,
you know what? It can still help though. With the dark guys, it can still help, and
oh
it can
yeah, I
even
know
out.
black guys still put it on. I mean,
Yeah, we're gonna have Ben in some for the Europa. That's the plan. We'll see.
yeah,
Should have a few people competing in it.
we're gonna finish this week actually with some story time. So, and what that is, I'll try to implement this semi regularly at least, and I've got a lot of stories as being Danny Manslaughter and the way I live my life. I have some interesting life experiences, I guess you could say. So, and I guess right now I'm just gonna do the selfless act of providing one of these, and this one too I haven't shared with the world, so this is pretty much an exclusive, and it's pretty fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. So, but that's what I'm known for. I'll say that though, among my true friends and everything, I'm known as a storyteller. Well, not a story, but I'm actually more known for the shit I get into when it creates these fucking stories. Usually they're the ones telling the stories, but well, without further ado, I guess I'll get into it. A little background. At the time, so at this time period, I was married and my wife had left, and we were living in Alaska, okay, which is where I'm from, and we lived in Fairbanks, Alaska, and she left. Eventually, she got sick of the cold because it's 40 below there. Um, in the wintertime, it's even colder than that. And she, California, and that was one issue. And after a couple of years, she had just had enough. But really, I mean, the boiling point occurred when I just kind of continued to get more fucking weird. I'm sure because I was taking all this different substances, drugs, and one of them actually that made me act so weird for a while. I just fucked up and sad now I think about it, but it was they had that spice shit, and keep in mind this was. I'm trying to think how many years ago this was. Well,
It was
actually
really
not.
popular for a while there. I
Yeah, not too
remember.
long ago. It was probably I don't know 4 years ago or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
4 or 3. Uh, anyways, and it's like weird because at that time too, I just tried it once. I got like a really good, good buzz off it for like 30 minutes or something. Like, oh, this ain't too bad. And other times kind of hit or miss, and other times make you feel really weird. And it has all these fucked up names. It'd be like Black Sabbath. There's like one. There's like Doctor Feelgood, and it had this little cartoon of a doctor with like bloodstains and shit on his shirt. And like, there's another one that's like Fallen Angel. And there's like there's actually one called the fucking Devil's Advocate. And it had a little fucking devil on it, and it all says like,
Not a gateway drug at all.
yeah, not for human consumption and all this like shit. And see, what people don't realize is whatever this shit is, it's no joke because it's these fucking crazy cannabinoids are spraying on these fucking leaves. Fuck, talk about nasty shit. So they're spraying this shit on leaves, these cannabinoids, who knows what else. So some shit might be like 200 times stronger than your average like rip off weed, but it doesn't have the antipsychotic cannabinoids that weed does. Okay, so it's void of those. So you get to have the crazy train. Essentially, is what happens. And if you talk to some people from back then, I had done, you'll hear some weird stories. But I noticed I started going through this shit pretty quick. Like I was probably spending $50 a day on that because it
Holy
was like 10
shit.
grams a day, and I was
Yeah.
hooked quick. I got hooked, and I wasn't even getting like fucking
Man, why
high.
don't you just smoke really good pot at that point?
Well, no,
Shit.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're like, pot wouldn't do anything for me.
Oh my
After
god.
this, like, I didn't want to. I wanted to do this because it's completely
Yeah.
different chemical. Seriously. So I didn't, I didn't even want to fuck with. I didn't like it. I wanted to do this. Like, it
Yeah.
did nothing for me anymore. Is with the weird thing. I think I fried out those receptors. So, anyways, I kept. I was going through this shit like fucking boom, 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 and anyways, I'm sure I started acting more erratically, and I was like mentally fucking getting really weird, just because weird shit too. Like after a while, I remember I to have to do it later on, like every 20 minutes or something crazy like that, and it's just fucking. And then like one time I did it, I got like a seizure, and
What the
I know
fuck?
that shit. I know, and that's what finally got me to stop
I've
that
heard
shit.
of people like getting these reactions though. It's not like
Oh,
unheard of at
dude,
all.
horrible. Yeah, panic attack, and with the final blow was, and before that I had lost my voice on it and all this shit. But I just couldn't stop. When I tried to quit, actually, I was getting really bad withdrawals, like really bad. So there's something in it. It's just like so fucking powerful. Whatever this shit was, but the seizure was kind of the final deal. Because what happened was I was doing laundry and I stood by the machine. Just for a second, I knew that feeling. My heart was starting to speed up. Like I was going to have a panic attack, which I had a few on those. Like you smoke just a little too much and you on a spice, and it's like boom, 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 and it feels like you're gonna pass out or die, and you don't know if you call a fucking hospital or whatever.
Jesus.
So, background. Well, obviously, started acting weird. Fuck, she left. So, anyways, at this time period, like I said, mentally, I'm probably not doing so hot. Okay. In addition to the spice, start taking other shit. Then I break my fucking foot, and I ended up, you know. But at that time, actually, I'd like to point out I had quit smoking the spice and shit. I was clean off everything, for like a week or whatever. Then I broke my foot, and I was on painkillers.
Right.
But anyways, so one day I get this message on. There's this website called Body Space. Okay, where you put pictures like
Yeah, bodybuilding.com.
and bodybuilding.com, and usually like 9 out of 10 comments is from like some hairy backed vulture that's like, you are so inspiring. Imagine having like a toss with you in the forest wrestling, you like a bear, man, or whatever. It's just like the typical kind of stuff, I guess you would say, typical kind of homoerotic bodybuilding commentary.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's mostly what you'll see on there. Seriously, it's a lot of time. Yeah, it's just people that don't work out commenting on your physique. But then there's also people who track their progress and use it for what the site's for too. And that's cool. And they say tracking your progress and all this bullshit. Well, I got a message on there one night or one day and saying, hey, I really like profile on traveling nurse, and I'm going to be near your area for the next few months, and I'd like to maybe get a chance to meet you or something. And okay, so at this time I was making completely fucking irrational decisions, just didn't give a shit, just pretty much wallowing in depression, smoking spice, lonely, fucking depressed. Wife had left. She's waiting for me to come down there. I'm fucking, who knows what I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Well, anyways, yeah, she's like, I'm gonna, and you could kind of, she would have looked okay or whatever on the picture. At the time, I was just, I don't know, I was kind of horny and fuck, whatever else, not making the right decisions. So I wrote back like, well, okay, here's my number if you ever want to, contact me. Yeah, I'm not looking for anything. Unless you like want to fuck. I didn't seriously put that. I didn't put in that terminology. And
But you got the
and
gist.
that sounds really disgusting now that I say it like that. But
No,
it's
it
just
doesn't.
honest.
No, it
Just
sounds
honest.
like every
Unless you just
guy's
want,
thought that.
Yeah, you just want to have sex. I mean, that's really what I said. It was fucked up. I realized that. Okay. So I'm definitely not someone who is a moral champion. I don't judge people because I have no fucking room to. Okay. So, anyways, I forgot all about that shit, you know, because each minute is like weird. And each fucking day is something's fucking weird is going on. The nights are starting to get terrifying, actually, because then I'm starting to take these different sleeping pills, but I'm staying awake. I can't sleep. I can't sleep at all. And I was going through these periods, and I just fucking no sleep, smoking spice, and taking what's that shit? Ambien.
Oh,
And I just
right.
took that, and I didn't go to sleep. But I was awake. Well, anyways, but I didn't, it just got very bizarre after a while, very fucked up. One night I get a call at like midnight, and I answered, and it's like, oh, who's this? Oh, this is, so and so. I'm not going to say the name, obviously, out of respect to that person. And because this, like I said, this is pretty fucked up stuff. Okay. So, she had said, oh, like I said in the previous email, she said, oh, yeah, I really like your physique, and, I think you look really good and all this, and, blah, blah. She's obviously like trying to lay it on me via internet, which was kind of different because, that's the first time. Usually it's just like usually that doesn't happen. Let's put it that way. So, at least not to me. I don't get fucking random, females writing weird shit. So, anyways, she's like, "Oh, this is so and so from Body Space." I said, "Oh, yeah, how are you doing?" We started talking or whatever, and then she's saying, "Oh, I think you're so hot," and starts talking kind of dirty to me, and she's like, "I'll be honest, I just want to fuck you." And then she starts, and like I said, I'm making irrational decisions. I'm horny, so it's like I'm fucking. It like transitioned into phone sex really quick. I mean, I was feeling like 10 minutes, something like that. And then,
That escalated quickly.
yeah, so it's like doing that, really, and then it's like finally, and then it's like it was weird because I could hear this noise because she's putting her phone up to her vagina, and she was going like that's a noise you could hear. Very like explicit, like just she's obviously really getting into it, and okay. I mean, it's fucking gross, really, now to think about it. And then, anyways, it blew my load. So it blew my load, and it's like, and keep in mind, I never even fucking met this person. I just saw this like small little picture, really. Okay, and she says, "Okay, Danny, well, here's the deal." I said, "What's the deal?" She says, "Well, I've I'm bisexual, and my partner is she's a neuroscience student, and she's going to be graduating soon, and we're going to be very successful, and we'll have lots of money, blah blah, and but the thing is, we really want a family, okay, and let me scale back too for a moment because this is important and crucial. While I'm, we're having phone sex, she's saying stuff like, breed me, Danny, and, like fucking shoot your alpha load in me. Seriously, these are like her words, not mine. She's like, you alpha stud, fuck me. Like, shoot your, load in me. And just like, breed me, Danny, breed me. Fucking seriously, she's saying breed me, which I thought was weird, but I'm like, I don't know. I just figured she's talking
But kind of
dirty.
cool.
Like, yeah, she's talking dirty. So I'm like, oh, fuck. That's the first time I heard that. Breed me. Oh, no, I find it sound kind of cool. And anyway, so then she's like, yeah, she started saying, here's the deal. And she said, well, we like to start a family. And, I think that you would be a good, like, like we would like your fucking genetics or whatever the fuck for this kid. We want you to be the dad. I was like, okay. And I'm like, well, I don't even know you. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? You don't even know anything about me. You just like see a picture, and it's like, oh no, it's just so your muscles and all this stuff. Like she was saying, I'm like, well, I don't know about that. Like I was just like, it sounds pretty fucked up because she's like, you wouldn't have to be a part of this child's life. You know, this is like the first fucking conversation, by the way. You wouldn't have to be a part of this child's life.
Hello,
You know,
you wouldn't have to be a part of this child's life.
it's like you could just, fuck me and be pregnant, and, just be done with it, and it's fine. I'm gonna take care of it after, and then I'd be like, well, and I said, well, that's fucked up though. I'm not someone like that, and shit. If I reproduce, I would like to, know what my spawn is up to, and
As you
like,
consider
I
the
like.
option.
I mean, look, I would like to be a fucking, at least nowadays, I'd be a good dad. I like to be a good dad and shit, not some, pull some ghetto ass shit like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, yeah. So she gets really in depth about it. And she's like, well, she's like, well, I could have just fucked you and you blew your load in me, and you wouldn't have known the difference anyways. And she's like, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down on my fertile week, and it's going to be your job to fuck me like 5 to 6 times a day, and blow your load in me and get me pregnant. She's like, it's got to be at least 4 or 5 times a day, and it's going to be a week. She's like, my fertile week, I'm going to drain out your balls, and it's like, you won't, you'll probably be hurting, and it's like, that'll just be your job, and fucking just fucking me. And I entertained this idea after a while. I don't know fucking why, because it's getting more bizarre, and we started talking more and more. And after the first phone call where it was established that I'm supposed to reproduce with this lady from Body Space, and then we started talking more and more, and it's like, okay,
Body Space, where you meet people to reproduce.
Yeah, she's gonna. Yeah, it's a sperm bank, and she's going to. They're gonna live in Chicago, and they're gonna do quite well, and maybe we could have a big family and multiple kids. Maybe I can have a few kids from you, and it's like, maybe it's like you could live with us there, and but the thing is. I would have to sleep with my partner at night, and you'd have to sleep in the other room on the bed. And she's like, it'd just be your job to work out and look good and fuck me, and I'll take care of everything else as far as whatever it costs, take your steroids and everything else. And seriously, that's like what she was saying. And in my mind, like, I was like, oh, entertaining, like, wow. Guys, my mind's all fucked up, and here I had this.
You're high as fuck on spice at this point.
Well,
Or no, you cleaned up a little bit, right?
I can't. I was on that point. I was taking like a lot of
Everything. Oh, gotcha.
Oh yeah, yeah, a lot of different shit. But anyways, I was like, well, I was entertaining, and yeah, like I said, I still have a fucking wife who's just left. I mean, she don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's like wretched as fuck. Well, anyways, I was like thinking about it, and it's like my friend. I told him, he's like, "Oh, that's the American dream, right there." He's like, "Isn't that? I mean, you just like got fuck her, and you get all your protein and all this." I'm like, well, I still don't know. It sounds pretty strange. I said, it wouldn't pan out like that. Something would go wrong. Anyway, so it's like. I continue to get weirder and weirder. At one point, I remember I fashioned my hair into like this fucking swirly.
Nice.
Like, what's that movie with? And I took a picture of it because I thought it was fucking cool. And then I didn't realize that a lot of people were starting to laugh at me, and my world was starting to get really strange. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It feels like there's like, it's so strange. Anyways, what happened with this chick was at some point or another.
Wait, so who was laughing at your swirly?
Oh, it's like little kids and shit. I remember kids playing, like, and it's like, I'm sure I looked very, fucking weird. And my eyes were all crazy and shit. And
Yeah.
it's not a good idea, period. And so these what happened with her, it gets so strange. I told my other friend, he said, "Oh yeah, I had that happen to me before." He's like, "As my friend, his name is Jarvis," and he's saying, "Yeah, but this chick offered me $3,000 to if I, you know, reproduce for her, be her father of a kid, $3,000." I said, "Fuck, I wasn't offered any money. I was just getting supposed to be offered sex." It's like, so then it's like I feel like shit. I'm kind of getting lowballed on this original deal. I guess it's the pot is sweetened when all of a sudden now that I'm gonna live as a family and all. I never even fucking met this person, But it's so funny, like $3,000, and I was thinking, fuck, I was not offered shit. And then and I was thinking too, which brings another issue. It's like I won't get into the free market on this episode. Okay, it's fucking complete bullshit, I'd like to point out. But it's like my semen probably wouldn't be too valuable on the free market because I think they really like our semen isn't in general, like eggs, they're like a lot of money. It's a big fucking deal. But since we so generously give it freely
Yeah,
everywhere,
exactly.
it's not worth so much. So you have to be like a fucking genius.
You're still white and have blue eyes though, so maybe there's some random value there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, so yeah, you got to be, have a degree and it's important shit like that. So I started really thinking about it, and I remember it's like, man, I fucking can't do this. And I just know I had a big fucking crash like this one night where I ended up, it was fucking bad. I pretty much ended up in the hospital for about 4 days. And I never, but here's the thing. I talked to her that night, I remember that. And she had said something to me like, I did something to piss her off. I can't remember what. And I don't think she was going to talk to me again, which is really good, actually, how it all panned out. And I think about it, God intervened, or not God, but fucking whatever, like the cause and force, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
Something, saved my ass from trying to have sex, whatever crazy stalker deal this was. And I don't really remember much of that night, the last conversation. I didn't hear from her again. She never called again. Like when, yeah, fucking crazy though. So it just goes to show you that there's actually women out there that will just see, I guess, a picture of you, and they'll say, okay, I want that to be the father of my child. Like, I'm a lot more clear-minded now. Okay, my life's like on track. I'm doing things. Things are much better. And I can kind of analyze these things. So I'll go back and, because I've been through a lot of these very, very strange situations. And I think, well, okay, what was I thinking here? And like, what's this person thinking? And, seriously, what is this person thinking? You just look at someone first time, not even in real life, just a picture, and yes, that's going to be
father of my children.
The father. Think about it, well, they got a family history of fucking something bad. What if I got sickle cell? Well, obviously not. But I could have.
That'd be pretty awesome if you did, I guess.
What's something that honkies get? Disease. I'm trying to think.
This is going to go down a negative route very quickly.
It's got to be something.
No, it's pretty awesome all around.
Well, anyways, I just never fucking heard from her again. But
which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, but she must have been fucking crazy.
Oh.
Because, and I mean, it got very strange. But that was the only time that particular situation that happened to me where, a woman actually wanted me to breed her, literally, like that. And keep in mind up there, too, it's really slim pickings in Fairbanks, okay? I mean, it's like the ratio is not so hot of women to men. So when it's slim pickings, man. You go to some extreme measures. And I'll end this little segment by transitioning into another real quick story, and I'm going to leave. And this one is so repulsive, I don't even know what to say. But I had met this other female actually on one of those fucked up websites, like at that time, Cupid or whatever, they're called. And, I started messaging, Cupid.com or Plenty of Fish, one of those fucking deals.
Yeah.
So I looked okay from pictures. It's like there's a black chick, and I like black chicks quite a bit. I like all different types of females. Anyways, so I got fucked up at a bar. Can't remember what I was drinking at. Probably vodka tonic. That was what I was always drinking. And I got a cab ride, and I remember it because it's like this Russian kid, and we had a cool conversation. And then he dropped me off at this fucking hovel, like this little like shitty ass shack type looking thing. It's actually a 2-story apartment. It looks so like shit, especially up there because there's no like zoning regulations and shit. I mean, they don't give a fuck. People leave their houses unfinished, so they don't have to pay property tax.
Oh my
So
god.
when it's run down looking, so you see all this unfinished shit everywhere.
Jeez.
So it's like the middle of winter, and it's like cold as fuck, and I hobble up the stairs to this little shitty ass apartment, and open the door. She's at least, I knew she was fat, okay? I knew she was fat. I'd been with some fat chicks before, but she was at least 350 pounds.
Oh.
At least. Probably more than that. I mean, morbidly obese. It really was. To the point where it's like she's probably one of the fattest people in her neighborhood and the town, and she's huge.
Potentially all Alaska.
She might have been even 400. I mean, and I'm not exact. I don't know the exact weight. She was just fucking huge, roll after roll. Anyway,
So I fucked her.
like a trooper, I still try to. Yes, I still decided that I'm already here. Fuck it, man. And it's like it didn't look like this. Well, the face looks okay. I'm like, it's like that.
What are you doing with your hands?
It's like that desperate and depressed. Well, that's what I'm going to do next. So, anyways, we start making love. Because I couldn't get it. I got like it kind of like semi. And then it's like keep going and going. She thinks I'm like King Kong because I'm not busting her nuts. And in fact, I remember that portion. Wait, you're gonna bust a nut? And it's like kept hearing that, and then it's like all this pressure. But it's like I remember caressing her rolls and stuff. And it's very awkward too because it's like you had to lift up the roll to access the.
Oh my god!
You had to lift up the roll to access the vagina. I remember that.
You're making the biggest girl I ever hooked up with sound skinny right now, so I feel pretty.
No comparison, I'm sure. There's no way. And so anytime you have to lift something up.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Shit. To access the vagina. Anyways, I don't think I didn't come or anything. And then I had the same fucking kid pick me up in the cab. And it's like I left and it's like I was so depressed. The next morning, it's like, oh, what the fuck did I do? It's like, wow. And she had like not a full blown mustache, but it's just like a little bit there. And oh man, it was just the place was nasty. I don't even know what she did. Like, it's like she looked like just like Jabba, dude. Just fucking should have fucked it. Anyway,
should have fucked it.
And then the next day, here's the deal. I took a shower and everything. I was just like, I've got a problem, man. I can't drink like this again because obviously I fucking made a serious bad choice. I feel like a girl would feel like fucking got jump on it. I had those feelings. It's just I felt so depressed. And anyways, I noticed fuck, some smells. And it's like I had taken a shower and it's like my hands smelled. And I washed them. It still fucking smelled. washed again, still smelled. And I remember the same smell because it was coming off her body. It was the smell of yeast in between her rolls.
Ah.
Wouldn't get off my hands for 3 fucking days.
Ah.
No matter how much soap, no matter how much shit I use, it's fucking horrible. And I almost felt like vomiting. It took 3 days, literally, of washing my hands over and over and over to get that smell away. And that's not exaggerating.
Oh my god. That is bad.
It was.
Especially because you hooked up with her twice again after that.
No. So that smell will always be in my head because, because that's what happens. If you get so big like that, if you
It
get that.
sounds like an episode like ER medical
Nope,
emergency.
get that. It is. Because if you get that large and you're not taking care of yourself and bathe yourself properly, you're going to get a yeast buildup in those rolls, buddy. Baby, honey,
oh my god.
And then when your man caresses those rolls, his hand might start to smell. So.
Oh, that's so disturbing. Wow. I'm glad you shared that story, though.
All right, everybody, that concludes it. So
on that note,
more in the future, and we can Olympia next week. So we can talk about that. As you can see from our show, it's pretty random. So,
yeah, I'm sure we'll come.
Bodybuilding, etc.
Yeah.
And
all right.
etc.
Yep. So that's it for the night, guys. Have a good one. Woo!